Welcome to Koblenz, Germany, where one river doesn't just meet another, it tells a story. Here, the misty Mosel flows into the legendary Rhine at the famous Deutsches Eck, a place where history, culture, and scenery collide. In this video, we'll explore one of the largest fortresses in Europe, take in breathtaking views high above the rivers, and wander through an old town that invites you to slow down and stay a while. And of course, we're sampling a few local favorites along the way. Let's explore Koblenz. All right, welcome to Koblenz in Rhineland-Palatinate, Germany, and we are on one of the most important spots in Germany where the Mosel River, the Mosel, however you choose to pronounce it, flows into the Rhine River. And we are here at this spot called the Deutsches Eck. Now, Koblenz was founded in, I think, 6 or 7 or 8 BC by the Romans. It was a defensive fortification here on this very important spot where these two great rivers join. And so behind me, this guy on the horse way up there, that is Kaiser Wilhelm I. And he was responsible for, he was the first person who joined Germany into a unified country. So this statue's been here since 1895, I believe. Germany formed into a country in 1871. Now, Koblenz unfortunately received a lot of damage during World War II, and this statue was destroyed. And for about 40, 50 years, the pedestal just sat there. But in 1993, they replaced the statue of old Wilhelm up there, overlooking the confluence where the Mosel flows into the Rhine River. And so we're going to take you around. We're going to take you up through a cable car to the second largest fortress in all of Europe and show you around this beautiful town. So you have to climb up to the top of the Wilhelm monument, and you can look out, and look, you can see just as the Mosel River flows right into the Rhine River, right here at the Deutsches Eck. Deutsches Eck means German corner, if you're not familiar with the German language. And so right here at this point, the German corner where the Mosel River flows into the Rhine here in Koblenz. All right, guys, we are at Ehrenbreitstein Castle, Ehrenbreitstein Fortress, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And this is the second largest defensive fortress in all of Europe. The biggest one is in Gibraltar, but this is the second biggest one. And we took the Seilbahn, the cable car, up from across the river. And so you could buy it. You can buy the ticket for the cable car. You can buy it one way. You can buy it round trip, or you can buy a Combi ticket, which gets you up here and into the fortress. And we weren't sure which one to get. We bought the Combi ticket to get into the fortress, and we're glad we did, because if you just come up with just the cable car, you're not going to be able to see too much when you get up here. I mean, the ride is nice, but once you get up here, you can't really see much. So you really kind of need to come into the fortress to be able to get a view and to see the place. And this fortress is massive, let me tell you. It's very impressive. So this site's has been used by people since about 4,000 to 5,000 BC, they think. And then it was used by the Romans. The Romans established a fort here around 4 or 5 BC. They were in the area. But the first castle, the medieval castle, was built here in about 1000, the year 1000, the medieval castle was built here. And it was here until the French forces and Napoleon destroyed it in the early 1800s when they were here, because they didn't want it to be used against them. And then it was rebuilt by the Prussians in the late 1800s. It wasn't destroyed in World War II, as far as I can tell. It doesn't seem like it was damaged at all. After World War I, the American forces used it. They established a headquarters up here for a little bit. But you can see the Deutsches Eck. where the Mosel River flows into the Rhine. Just the view is spectacular. And it's interesting, the Mosel River is darker than the Rhine River. As you can see where the two come together, and the Mosel River is a little bit darker, so interesting, but the views are spectacular. They've got some very interesting things to look at up here, little points of interest. So it's really nice. And so I highly recommend, if you're going to come up here, you might as well pay, I think it's €6 extra to get the Combi ticket to come inside the fortress, because if you don't, there's really not a lot to see, to be honest with you. But it's really beautiful up here. Okay, so when it's cake and coffee time in Koblenz, you have to come to Café Baumann, and this place looks outstanding. The cakes are beautiful. I also think it's a great place for breakfast, it seems like, but these cakes look great. And I have the Baumann special, and look at that. We've got some chocolate, we got some cocoa, we got some marzipan, some type of berry. Cherry liqueur inside there. That looks great. We have a Milch coffee, and we have a kitchen coffee. And let's just get right to it, man. Look at that. It looks great. Mm, mm, mm. Betty, the last 2 trips, home and today, she has done her research on where to get cake and coffee, because this is excellent. This is outstanding. So I think when you're in Koblenz and you want to have that cake and coffee and kuchen, you got to come to Café Baumann. Old school, delicious cake. And I think you will not be disappointed. Oh, and Betty says they have to try hers, and you don't want to try it on camera? Betty says no. So look at that. I think is that himbeer? Himbeer and chocolate. Raspberry. Another winner. That is outstanding. All right, folks. I think I like the Baumann special better, but they are both really good. Delicious. All right, this is the Liebfrauenkirche, or we would call it the Church of Our Lady, or probably just the Notre Dame in English and French. But it's a really beautiful church. It was originally built, I think, in the 11th century in the Romanesque style, and then it was rebuilt in the 13th century. And actually, it's been rebuilt several times. It's been damaged and rebuilt. It was damaged pretty significantly in World War II, but it's been rebuilt since then. And it's really pretty. It has 2 domes, and you can see it kind of from most places in the city. Very striking. Inside's quite beautiful, has some really nice stained glass windows, and the ceilings are very impressive. Has some really cool tombs in there as well. So it doesn't cost anything to go inside, so it's definitely worth going inside and taking a look around. It's in a really nice area. It's right next to a very popular and very good ice cream shop too. So check out the Liebfrauenkirche when you are in Koblenz. All right, so in Koblenz, one thing you have to watch out for. So we are just right on the other side of the Jesuitenplatz, which is a very beautiful square. But this guy here is called the Schängelbrunnen. I think Schengel is kind of means like a little rascal. So this guy, you got to be careful. So he's the symbol of Koblenz. You see him, you look all around, you look at the manhole covers, and his image is there. But what happens, this fountain, if you're not careful and you're walking by, and it just almost happened to me, I don't know how often, but every few minutes, he spits out some water. So if you're walking too close, you might get wet. So let's watch out, and I don't feel like getting wet this morning, but it's a beautiful day here in Koblenz, but watch out for the Schängelbrunnen. right, to my left, we have the Baldwin Brücke or the Baldwin Bridge, and this is over the Mosel River. And this was built in the 14th century, so the 1300s. Now, three of its arches were damaged during World War II, and I think you can see on the far side over there, it's not as pretty. It's just a regular bridge. I think that's the part that was damaged and just made in modern style. And then here to my right, we have this beautiful Alte Burg, or the old fortress, the old castle. And this was built in the 13th century, I believe, and it's been expanded several times. It was expanded in Renaissance style, Baroque style, so different types of fashion, but very beautiful, very striking, right here on the Mosel River by the bridge. All right, so just as luck would have it, today on this beautiful Sunday in Koblenz, right behind the Kaiser Wilhelm monument, you can see his back end right there, and his horse's back end. They have this huge, it's like I don't know, like a garden display, maybe. They're selling like stuff to put in your yard or your garden, flowers and cobblestones and all kinds of decorations and stuff. But they also have, it's in Germany, so they can have food and drink, of course. And we are here at Genusszimmer. So Zimmer, I'm assuming, is the name. And Genuss means like enjoyment, but they're like a wine dealer, I guess. I think they're right out of Koblenz. They may raise the wine themselves, I don't know, but they have this really dark-looking rosé we wanted to try, so we got a glass of it. Smells really nice. Oh, it's quite tasty. It's really good. It's really nice. Nice and fruity, nice and dry. Quite enjoy it. Yeah, you have to try wine when you're in Koblenz because a lot of wineries around here, the two great wine rivers, the Rhine and the Mosel joining here. So you've got to try a little bit of wine when you're here in Koblenz. Zum Wohl. Koblenz is one of those places where the best plan is no plan at all. Just wander. Turn down a side street, follow a narrow alley, and before you know it, you're standing in a beautiful square that feels like it appeared out of nowhere. Some of our favorites include Jesuitenplatz, with its stunning Rathaus, Münzplatz, known for its charming statues and historic buildings, Am Plan, lined with great places to eat and home to the city's centuries-old water source, and Florensmarkt, which during our visit was under quite a bit of renovation, so it didn't quite show its full charm. But when you're there, make sure to look up. You'll spot the eye roller, a quirky little figure whose eyes move with the pendulum, and who sticks out his tongue every hour and half hour. It's details like this that make Koblenz such a fun place to explore. You never quite know what you'll discover next. All right, so this is the Basilica of St. Castor, and this is the oldest church in all of Koblenz. The original church was consecrated here in 836, and then it was rebuilt in the 1200s. It did receive some damage during World War II, but not too significantly. That's been repaired, so most of the structure was still standing. Has some really nice, it's really beautiful inside. Some really nice stained glass. The ceilings are very impressive. Has some really cool art inside, really nice works of art. Now, something that's very interesting of note for history buffs, in 840 something, I believe it was, the empire of Charlemagne, the Holy Roman Empire, after he died, it was here that it was split up and divided amongst his three sons, maybe his three grandsons. or probably his 3 sons. I forget exactly who it was, but his empire was divided here at this church in Koblenz, and I found that very interesting. So it's really nice. Definitely pay a visit. Free to get in, and either as you're going up to the Ehrenbreitstein fortress, riding the cable car up, either right before or right after when you get down. It's a good place to go because it's right at the cable car station. Okay, so we are having dinner here in Koblenz, and we are at the Wirtshaus Alt Koblenz, and I have a specialty of Rhineland-Pfalz. Actually, I think of this more closer to the Deutsche Weinstraße than here on the Rhine Mosel Rivers, but it's still from Rhineland-Pfalz, and this is Saumagen, and it's better than it sounds. Saumagen, I think it literally means pig's stomach, but this is a treat. It's a specialty. Helmut Kohl, the former chancellor of Germany, he loved Saumagen, and he used to serve it to all the dignitaries who visited. So look at that, and look at these mashed potatoes too. That's quite good. Has a nice sauteed onions on top. I've got some sauerkraut. The gravy's really good, and it's a really distinct flavor. And if you just hear the name, you might say it's gross. I'm not going to have that, but it is very delicious. And I think when you're around that falls, you should definitely try use some Saumagen. It's a unique treat. I like it, and I think it's quite tasty. All right, so we were walking around the really beautiful old town of Koblenz. It's really nice. And we saw this huge line of people, and we're like, what's going on there? So we went up to investigate, and it was a line for ice cream at eGelatoSia. And I tell you, this place is super busy, so it must be good. And our favorite ice cream is pistachio, so it looked good. You got to look at the color. If pistachio looks like kind of a crazy wild green, like maybe neon green, get it. But it needs to be kind of a dull looking flat green. And so this looks good, looks legit. Betty said go for it, so we're going to split some pistachio ice cream. That's good. That's really good. It's like eating like a frozen creamy pistachio. I mean, the pistachio flavor is like so strong. That is really good. So yeah, €5 for this big cup of gelato, and it's good. So if you're in Koblenz, I can recommend you stop by eGelatoSia. It's right next to the Liebfrauenkirche. So the one of the main churches in Koblenz, the Liebfrauenkirche, right across the square, and you'll be there. And there'll probably be a line. If it's a nice sunny day, there's going to be a line there, I can promise you. We had a great time exploring Koblenz. From the impressive Deutsches Eck to the little surprises around every corner, charming squares, playful statues, and those unexpected fountains. It's a city that really keeps you curious. And the food didn't disappoint either. If you're planning a trip to Germany, Koblenz absolutely deserves a spot on your list. And if you're looking for more inspiration, be sure to check out our Germany Travel Guide playlist for other fantastic destinations.